Hello everyone. Just getting my iPad all set up, so we should be good to go. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday night. I'm just glad that I am home from work and able to do a little bit of crafting with you all. So if you guys are stopping by, just drop a quick note so I know you're here. I'm super excited to get ready to get some coloring and crafting in tonight. Give it a minute or so for everyone to join in. Gotta make sure everything looks nice and together. Hello, Kevin. Hi, Trisha. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I'm really looking forward to coloring up Tony. Where's it? I just think he's just super adorable. Justin is my favorite. Aw, well, thank you. And yep, we got a sticky pad. We got a little bit of ink blending going on tonight, so we'll get to that later. I just thought it'd be easier to put this in place now as opposed to later on. Hi, Dana. Thanks so much for stopping by tonight. We'll give it about another maybe 30 seconds or so, and we'll jump into some coloring. Always, when I'm getting ready to do a live, I'm always sitting there and I go to myself, Misa thinks that I should come up with something really cool. So I go through my stamps and sentiments and what I have, and I like to piece my stuff together. So for whatever reason, Tony really stood out to me. Maybe it's because he's in an outdoor setting and I'm just getting ready for outdoor weather myself. But I didn't want to use the let's hang out soon sentiment that he comes with. Just because I know we're all kind of dealing with our own stuff right now and social distancing. So I wanted to put him with another sentiment. So I'll show you guys later what I'm doing. I'm really excited. I'm going to tie everything in with each other. So let's just get right to coloring. So hi, Betty. Thanks so much for stopping by tonight. We're going to always start where I do, which is with his skin tone. And we're going to go with a tan skin tone today for Tony. So what I'm going to do is I always put my marker here. We're going to start with my E000, which is floral white. Maybe related to their cousin Betty White. I don't know. We're just going and we're coloring in, laying down a nice layer for my Copic marker ink to move around. And if you guys have any questions about anything that I'm doing thus far, please feel free to drop a comment. I will try to get to it as soon as I can. If you guys have seen my lives before, I kind of sound like a broken record because I say often, I'm like, if you have any questions, let me know. But sometimes I might miss a question, or we've got people who are hopping on kind of midway through. I just want to make sure everybody knows that I am here to just have a good time with you guys and show you some of my own techniques and ways that I like to craft and color. Just putting down that base layer for Tony. I just think he's the cutest, and I love the hair that he has. It's like a little tame, but a little wild at the same time. I also realized when I was getting ready, I've done 3 lives this year as a permanent StampAnniething design team member. And all of the lives, actually I've done 4 because I also did my color along with my Justin Pizza Digi. And all of the lives that I've done, I've used guys, which is interesting because I think sometimes the girls are more fun to color up because they've got some fun colors that go with them. But the guys have been speaking to me. But oh, that's funny, Trisha. All right, making sure I've got everything. His ears are taken care of. Only one arm's exposed. So we're going to move on to his next color, which is E04. Hi, Tammy. Thanks so much for being here tonight and stopping by. So we're going to do E04, which is Lipstick Natural. And I'm just going in and entering those shadows. Usually by his hair is where I always like to start, just because hair on your skin always is creating a shadow. What Betty White joke, lol. I thought it was funny. I always like to talk about when I'm coloring with Copics how, like, I don't know how they come up with some of these names. Because honestly, I think there's a handful of colors, especially when you start adding a bunch of zeros onto them. A lot of them look very similar. And I'm like, how do you come up with a name for these? All right. Do a little bit. Shadow under his arm, under his head. All right, now look, and now he's upside down. Yep, that's about where I want him. So I'm going to set that marker to the side for when I go through with my second bout. So the next marker I have is my E47, which is Sepia. Like I said, we're going to give Tony a little bit of a tan skin tone tonight. Didn't want to do my standard, what I call my Caucasian skin blend. Wanted to do something just a little bit different. I'm imagining Tony's spent a lot of time outside hanging out in trees, so he needs a good tan. We don't want to do orange, you know? All right. Tonight, but Justin is doing all the coloring cards in only 20 minutes. Oh, yes. Dang, y'all, I'm going to get canned tonight because that ain't happening. It's probably going to take me 20 minutes just to get the skin tone down. We got the jokes, though. I'm so happy, though, that you guys are here tonight. I always have so much fun doing my StampAnniething lives, and especially that it's on a Tuesday night, because it gives me an excuse to come home from work and really just have a little bit of fun. All right, we're going to move on to our next color, which is E34, because I have to leave it. Yeah, Stan has to leave, so maybe that makes sense why I have to go super quick, but you can't rush perfection, you know? So this is E34, which is my favorite name for a Copic marker out of any of them. It's toast. It does always make me just a tad hungry. I do love toast. I love breakfast. What magic is this? Yeah, there ain't no magic. No magic with speed tonight. Oh my God, could you imagine doing this in 20 minutes, you guys? I would be flying. I wouldn't be talking to anybody. I would just be like flying. And it would probably look terrible. I'm not going to lie. Because I really do like to take my time. And even like, I even prep things for my lives. Where I like to do most of my die cutting in advance. Just so you guys don't have to deal with me using my die cutting machine. I like to get all my papers ready. 20 minutes, so I couldn't imagine. All right. And that was E34. We're going to move on to my next color, which is E33, which is sand. So is the tin lid new for you to put your caps in so you make sure, remember to show your color you are using? It is. I always like to put like an area for me to remind myself where to put my lids at, just in case someone's hopping on. They're like, what color are you using? Of course, they can ask me, or some people might just see the number. It also helps me keep track of it so I'm not like fumbling around being like, where's my lid? I have to put my marker away so it doesn't dry out. Speaking of dried out markers, y'all, I found like 2 of my Copics that have cracked lids in like the last 24 hours. And it makes me sad because they're expensive. Luckily, they're colors I don't use super often, but still. All right, next color is E31, which is brick beige. And this is where we're really going to start to lighten up Tony's skin tone. But of course, we're going to do a second go about with it just to get a little bit more of that saturation. Make him look extra fly. All right. It's kind of hard, guys, when I plan my lives because I go through my stamps and I'm like, well, these are all cute. And it gives me an excuse to be like, well, I bought this one and I haven't used it yet, so I can use it in a live. But then, like, it's problematic when it's like, I think it's Paige and she's like the holiday elf. And I'm like, ooh, I could use her. No, No, she's a... You don't just... Like, I guess you really could do anything. Like, break out your Crayola markers. I mean, no shade to Crayola, but... All right, we're going to finish with E30. Just an StampAnniething trivia tidbit for you. This particular stamp was made a year prior to it ever being manufactured. Ooh, I just sat on it because there was a strong thing. Ah, that's interesting. I love little stamp trivia. It's like, it just gives you like a little bit of insight. And sometimes it's just funny to find out like, oh, you wanted to do this for a while, but it didn't happen. Why? Oh, and I'm already looking and realizing I forgot to pull the colors for his tongue. That's okay. I always, guys, it's never fails me. Anytime that I do a live, I always pull all my stuff and I forget one thing. And it's usually nothing that large. So like, for whatever reason, tongue markers are like something that happen often. If you guys are just hopping on, just send me a quick note to say hello and let me know you're here. Let's see. Catching up on comments. This is the stamp that got see. Really? This, okay, so this is a popular one then. All right. Because he's cute. Tony in the tree is cute. All right, we're going to go through his skin one more time. All right, so we're going to go in with the E04 Lipstick Natural. We're just going to reinforce those shadows. And it is going to make his skin tone a little bit darker by going over it a second time. But it really gets a nice blend. If you guys are coloring really any skin tone, but especially if they're darker skin tones, you're going to find how much better of a blend you're going to get the more time that you layer them. Alrighty. Oh, Kevin's wrong. Well, I guess the stamp isn't as popular as I thought. That's okay. It'll be popular for me. Hi, Kelly. Thanks so much for stopping by and saying hello. So happy that you're here tonight. I'm happy that all you guys are here tonight. Except Kevin. No, that's a joke. We love Kevin. Kevin and I give each other a hard time. It's one of my favorite things of being on the team. All right, just going, this is the E47, which is Sepia. Just reinforcing those shadows. I love just when he's not online and it's quiet. Well, guess he doesn't like, he likes me not that often. All right, E34, which is Toast. Back to my favorite named color. Not my favorite color, but my favorite name for a Copic marker. Oh no, this name is very popular. He was wrong that this was the one that hooked. Oh, okay. All right, I'm following. See, guys, I'm multitasking. I'm coloring and I'm trying to follow the banter, which I can usually be pretty good at. Alrighty. The other thing that I'm going to be adding when I get closer to it is I do my blush on my second go about. All right. Ha! Now that's funny, Kevin. All right, we're going to move on to the next color, which is E33, which is Sand. We're just going to carry down those shadows. Making sure we're getting a nice blend. All right. Y'all, the sticky pad I'm getting caught on a couple times. All right. No, you're fine. All right, next color is E31, which is Brick Beige. Ooh, his skin is getting nice and deep. He is looking good. If I don't say so myself. Can I say that about my own coloring? I think so. I think he's looking really good. All right. All right, and now we're gonna go in and we're gonna start with his cheeks. Because he's a little darker in skin tone, I want his blush to start a little darker. So we're gonna start with some R24, which is Prawn, just to start making his cheeks a little red and blushy. If that's not a word, it is now. Y'all are too funny. All right, next color, R22, which is Light Prawn. So we're going from R24, which is Prawn, to R22, which is Light Prawn. I had to think about that for a second. We're just lightening up that blush. But see, you can also still see it when his skin is getting a little darker. And then we're going to finish it up with some R21, which is Sardonyx. Alrighty. Oh boy, a full moon. Or is it just a moon? I don't know. If you guys are just hopping on, name the prawn from the Muppets. Oh, I know who he is, but I don't remember his name. Doesn't he have an accent? He's a little interesting looking, that one. He's got like that permanent frowny face. All right. We're finishing up his blush. Ooh, guys, sometimes skin takes forever. Are we at my 20 minutes yet? Am I done? All right. Yeah, his arm, forgot about that. And then we'll get under his chin as well. I know, but I can't win Gur. Oh my God, you two. You are cracking me up. It's about to get real quiet at 7:20 though, I think. All right. Now I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna take my R21 and I'm gonna go ahead and just brighten up this blush. Perfect. All right. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do his tongue while I am here. And I'm just going to use some RV14 and some RV11. Just to get a nice little saturation. I know I didn't put the caps down. It's RV14, RV11. Next, we're going to start working on his hair. So I wanted to give him like a dark, dirty blonde. So we're going to do an E4 blend. So we're going to start with E49, which is Dark Bark, which is difficult to say very fast. All right, Anne's got to run. I'll be back soon, I think. Good luck. Maybe I'll see you soon. All right, and we're just going to kind of do some light strokes where the tips of his hair is. Kind of thinking his part is probably like here, so that I can use that as a starting point as well. Just some swoops. Rizzo is funnier. I do like Rizzo. All right. carry some of his hair up. Sometimes with hair, I just get a little quiet. All right. Going around where anywhere there might be a shadow. Giving some of these tip areas some extra hair coloring, I guess you'd call it. All right. We're gonna do a little bit there. All right, hold the fort, please. Justin's the youngest on the team, so we tease the baby. That's me, I'm the baby. Gotta love me. All right, let's move on to the next color, which is E4. So, you know what? I've missed one little area. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some E49 back to the bottom of his hair over there, and a little right there. All right. And maybe a little right here. All right, next color, E47 Dark Brown. So I'm just gonna kind of take where I put that original color, the E49, and just kind of extend it out a little bit. Yes, if anyone else has said hi and I haven't said hi back, or we haven't acknowledged you, please say hi again. All right. Alrighty. Ooh, I'm already loving these shades of his hair. It is going to really lighten up, though, as we start going down in the shades, and it's going to get that blonde color going in. All right. Next color. Trisha, hello. Hi, Beth. They are patiently watching the magic happen. Probably. All right, next color is E44, which is clay. Ooh, and it's upside down. So we're, ooh, and now it fell over. All righty. So we're just gonna go ahead and carry out the E47 with the E44. Sometimes I love doing hair, and then sometimes I'm like, yo, I need practice. This is one of those times I feel like I love doing the hair. This sticky pad, my hand keeps sticking to it. All right. I'm just really digging how Tony's turning out. I just think he's also just an adorable stamp in general. I think he is also the skateboarder in the Gnarly set. I could be wrong, but that's also one of the stamps that I love. I mean, I love them all, but I do have favorites, you know. I was making steak bath. I saw the steak, and we got a jumper. The steak looked wonderful. All right, E43 Dull Ivory. I'm off my game today. Even took a nap and still don't feel like I can get my brain straight. Now that's much different from the normal, but still. It happens. I mean, sometimes I get such just like a creative block where I'm like, I want to do something, but my mind, I feel like what I want to do isn't matching up with what I'm actually doing. I just posted the finale. Oh, I'm going to have to catch it later. I haven't even had dinner yet, so I'm like kind of glad I haven't seen it yet, Beth, because I am starved. I think we are getting burgers for dinner, so I'm excited for that. All right. Thank you so much for the compliment on his hairstyle, Trisha. Well, I think you're saying the style, not the coloring, but I hope the coloring helps accentuate the style, you know? All right. I'm going to go in and add a little bit of detail to his hair by going back with some of the darker shades. So we're going to go with some E44. I just want to bring some of the swoops out, some of the strands of hair. I like doing this, going back in with some of the darker colors. See, wait, what was the comment? I'm off my, we're all like that. I wasn't ignoring. Sometimes I just can't. Alrighty. I think I'm gonna have to go back in with some E43 real quick, just to make this part a little less chunky. All right, a little bit less chunky there too. All right, we're gonna go in with some E47. Oh no, you'd be hangry. Your coloring is red. Thank you, thank you. And thank you, Dana, too. Everyone with the compliments. Oh, I appreciate it. We're going with some E47, which is the dark brown, just to bring out some of those hair textures. I'm doing some light handling with the marker just to get a little bit of that texture in there. I have to fix that one spot. Let's go some E43. This is just a little too dark for my liking. That's better. And then we'll finish this off with some E49. Trisha, it's a little bit of style, a little bit of color. Thank you. Okay, so there was a little bit of a compliment that I appreciate. All right. All right. Just kind of moving back and forth, of course, being a little on the quiet side. All right, Danny, he tried to ditch us. He can't lose me that easy. No, I didn't try to ditch anybody. I promise. Promise. All right, just... All right. And then a little over there, and I think we're good with the hair. All right. So he's got a little bit of swoopy hair going on. Let me catch up on some comments. Tammy loves his hair. Thank you, Tammy. And then what did I do? Oh, yeah, don't let him pull you into it, Dana. All right. Next, we're going to do his shirt next. So I thought he should do a purple shirt. I don't know, with some white. So it's kind of like a baseball tee. So we're going to do some VO9. All right. Thank you guys so much for the compliments on the hair. I really appreciate it. See how he's knowing the pictures I'll be doing. I've never committed to that, Kevin. Go ahead and tell people publicly things that have not been confirmed. Love his hair. You guys are so nice. It's really a good combo for blondes. I'm excited to, once I'm done, of course, I'll show you guys it up front, or up close, up front. Oh my gosh. Gosh, help me. This is VO4, finishing off with the highlights. Alrighty. Feed them quick. Lies, totally confirmed. Oh my. We're going to work on his shirt. So we're going to start with N4, which is natural gray. And that's just going to kind of be anywhere that there's shadows. He's going to have a little bit of a fold there. And then he's got a little bit there for his arm. Next color is N2. I don't think I've seen this combo before. Are we talking about the hair? I will list it. It's really easy, I promise. I do a lot of some of my hair colors are experimental, some are not. And this is one that I feel like isn't, because I'm literally just going down the list of colors with the E4s. But hey, if y'all like it, sure. This reminds you of you. Ah. Well, okay. All right, and this is N0, so neutral gray 0. I wanted to use either a neutral or a cool gray for his shirt just because I thought it would pull from the purple, and he's going to have blue jeans too, so I thought it would just coordinate well instead of going with a warm one. So let's start working on his jeans. So I'm going to start with my B99, which is agate. He's going to have some shadow there. Let's see a little bit of folding there. All right. Bingo. I don't know. All right, next color, we're going to do B97, which is night blue. And we're just going to keep pulling out those shadows. Under the B99. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know. Then B97. Yep. I bet you'll guess what we're going to be doing next. Like I said, some of my blends are not that original. Plus, I think this is just like a standard great blend for your blue jeans. So we're going to go to B95, which is light grayish cobalt. Yep, no, I'm following now. Now I know what you're doing. I'm following. Yep, B95, you got it. We're going to go next to B93. I want some desert. I want desert. What kind of desert do you want? Sahara? Gobi? I don't know, what other deserts out there would you might be interested in? All right, and then we're gonna finish this off with some B91. What? Oh, yes. If y'all are in the area, I would, of course, show you around. I'll show you all the good places to eat. Oh, yes, the food. He's gonna get you just... It's okay. All right. Making sure we get a nice blend with his jeans. All right. Perfect. Next, we're going to work on his shoes. So we're going to do some R39. His shoes are going to be real quick and easy. I thought he needs red shoes. R37, which is carmine. And then finish it off with some R35, which is coral. And then we've just got the branch left. So we're getting there. We're almost there. Do the branch and the leaves. The branch shouldn't really take that long either. I'm relentless. Yes, just a tad, but that's okay. All right, so for the branch, we're going to do some E2s, just a 3-color blend. We're going to start with E47, which is milk chocolate. And I'm just going to kind of do it along the top, because I feel like that's where most of the shadow would be, because he's sitting on top of it. All right. Next, we're going to move on to E25, wrong end, which is Caribe Cocoa. And then we'll finish off with some E23, which is hazelnut. That'll be the last color in the blend. Just to give a nice sort of woody twig color of sorts. Sometimes when you just want like a natural, like brown color, sometimes I struggle finding the right Copic combination for them. And you know what, I'm going to go in. I'm going to add a little bit more shadow with my E27, just so it's noticeable. Yeah, a little bit right there. Take a little bit of the E25 just to clean up this spot, and we should be good. All right, work on the leaves, touch up some spots, and then I think Tony is good to go. So we've got Y67, which is moss. Of course, my hand keeps sticking to the pad. All right, next color in the blend is Y63, which is pea green, PEA green. All right, and then finish off these leaves with some Y61, which is pale moss. All right. I'm going to do something real quick just with his hair, just because there's one little area that's bothering me, but he's almost all done. I just want to get under here a tad. All right, he is all done. So I'm going to start fussy cutting him out. If you guys have done a live with me before, I love to multitask when I'm fussy cutting. So if you've got any questions, whether it be about what I've made thus far or any sort of crafting questions, please let me know. This one might take a little bit longer to cut just because of the leaves. So that means I have a little bit more time to fussy cut with you guys. He's cute. Thanks so much, Dana. And Lisa, thank you. I think he's handsome too. I think he's going to really enjoy hanging out in this tree. Well, his figurative tree. We're not making a tree. We're just going to assume he's in the tree. Yeah, that's a little too thick. When you meet me in person, will you that's not nice. Setting me up for failure. How about, because we're social distancing at these times, or at least I'll still want to when I'm meeting you, how about like a very sanitary fist bump? Does that count? See, both. That's funny. When I'm fussy cutting, I like to trim away the pieces that I don't need because it's less for me to maneuver around. So sometimes you'll see me just cut off a piece of the paper because I just don't want to have to deal with it. Precision cutting, yes. See, there goes another jumper. Not the F word. What's the F word? I didn't say no F word. All right, does anybody have any other questions just while I'm fussy cutting and can multitask? Make sure I get a good grasp on this part, just because it's a little delicate. Oh, fussy. Okay, I'm like sitting here panicking. I'm like, I did not swear. Or that thing where it says, my favorite word starts with F and ends in UCK. My favorite word is fire truck. Da, 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 da. Just a little silent, but that's okay. Maybe everyone had like a tiring work day and they're just using like my voice and my cutting as crafting ASMR. We'll go with that option. I'm going to trim a little bit off just because I got to kind of get into this little nook and cranny to cut. See, it's little areas like this where the dyes really help. They're all coloring along with you. Yes, I hope to see several many Tonys and trees later on tonight. Aw, Joanne, thank you so much. I get to deal with customers on the phone at work, so I kind of have to practice just kind of being presentable on the phone. Where I feel like this is similar to being on the phone because we're not doing a face-to-face chat, you know? And there we go. And we've got the disruption, you know. That's one of my dogs just barking. It's okay, little buddy. Cut this part off. I am tired tonight, nothing personal. No, you don't have to apologize at all. I'm just glad you guys are here. That was Duke who barked. Winnie is quiet and near me. Duke is in another room. I have recently acquired a second fur baby. So we have two. We've got one. She is about 2 years old, but we've had her for just over a week. So she's still getting reacquainted. They are both pit bulls. I've got an 8-year-old who's Duke. That's the one who barked. Duke he's about 85, 90 pounds. He's a big boy. And then Winnie is on the smaller side. She is probably about 40 to 50 pounds. I don't know exactly what her weight is, but I feel like it must be somewhere in there. Because she's a tiny one. But she's agile. That is the term I use to describe her, is agile. Because she can jump. She can run. She gets those zoomies going, you know. She's trying to growl, and then when you hear... That's funny. Get to one of those trouble areas, but it's okay, we're almost through it. Alrighty. There's sort of, you have to see them. Are we talking about my dogs or your dogs? Probably both. They are cuties, I will say that. Love pitties. I have a Doberman and a Chihuahua. Oh my gosh, you've got like polar opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of size, but like both equally like adorable. All right, you guys, Tony is all colored up. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to add a little bit of touch-ups with a white gel pen. I always like to add the dots to his eyes just to give it a little bit of a gleam to him. And then there's a little bit under here, a little bit under here. I think that's about it. He didn't have too much that was out of place, so that's nice. Like a little bit right there. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Perfect. So we've got all situated. Tony is all colored up so we can start working on the background. So I'm imagining that for my card that Tony's going to be hanging out in a tree. So he of course needs clouds. So we're going to use the Cloud Builder stencil. Let me just put a little bit of my trash pieces away. And then we're also going to grab, I did die cut out the stitched rectangle from the Die Basics 1 builder set. So we're going to use this as like an accent piece for him. I'm going to show you guys kind of what I'm thinking. So I did a little pre-cutting. So this is an A2 sized base. And I want to put this there. And then Tony is going to be like hanging out over here. We're going to do a sentiment in like a semicircle in the corner over here. And we're going to do some clouds in the background. So I'm going to get to it. And then this paper is really fun, you guys. This is the Summer Tropics paper, which has some really cool prints for summer. I actually am digging the popsicles and just these banners, specifically the banners, because you could use these for almost any sort of project. If you could do it for like a birthday card. I love the chevron print as well, especially because it's multicolored. But also when I was cutting out this green and white polka dot, on the back side is the watermelon print, which is also adorable. And I know, and I forget her name, I know that there is an adorable stamp that has a girl eating the watermelon. Oh, and she's so cute. She would be perfect on this paper. So I'm going to start with doing a rainbow background. So I'm going to show you guys my tips and techniques for doing a rainbow, cloudy sky, or any sort of rainbow. I kind of like to abbreviate my rainbow and do only a couple colors. I do 6 and I skip some of them. So I don't actually, when I'm doing a rainbow, use red. I like to use pink. So this is a Picked Raspberry Distress Ink Mini Cube, which might be slightly off to the side. I think you guys can still see it. So what I like to do is I like to pick up my ink. I like using foam blending tools with these. And then I'm using my Cloud Builder stencil, and I'm just gonna go ahead and blend the sky. It's gonna be nice and vibrant, kind of leaving it so it kind of fades to a white on the top. All right, that's all I need with the picked raspberry. Sam Walsh, I love both breeds. I love all breeds of dogs. I just love dogs. All right, next color we're gonna do, like I said, I skip reds, I go to pink. So after reds, we're gonna do some carved pumpkin, which is an orange. All right. And then I'm gonna very quickly, I think I'm only gonna use this part of the cloud blender just because it gives me a nice surface to work with. Just because I'm working with a small space and I'm trying to avoid any sort of mistakes. So I'm doing my carved pumpkin. And then let's go ahead. We're just gonna add that in, blend that up. All right. Clean that off. And what's also great is to get some different patterns, you can flip your stencils over to get the reverse. So we're gonna get rid of my orange, move on to my yellow, which is a mustard seed. Of course, my foam tool is acting a little funny. That's okay. All right. So flip this over. Do some yellow. Keeping it dark towards the cloud edge, but light when you get towards the edge of the next cloud. Alrighty. All right, next color I've got is green, which is a mowed lawn. Clean this just so I don't get any cross color contamination. I'd end up with a zoo if someone didn't stop me. Well, you have a snake, don't you? You would have a zoo. All right. Ooh, those colors I'm living. They're nice and bright. I'm liking them a lot. All right. Just kind of lightly blending. This background won't take too much to blend up, which is nice. This cloud builder is a must. I love all of the builder stencils, but I think the cloud one you might get the most general use out of. This is actually the second live that I've used it in. I love it. I think it's great. All right, we're gonna do some blue. This is a Salty Ocean Distress ink. So we'll pick some up. And then move over the stencil. We're getting to the part where I'm having a hard time holding down. It's okay. Getting a nice bright blue in. That is a great price too. And there's also, you guys, I'm only using one part of the stencil, which is the larger piece. There are multiple pieces that are included. It's a 4-piece pack. And like this one has like a bunch of little like smaller detail edges. One is like really large detail cloud edges. So whatever your preference is, there is a cloud in this pack for you. Or you can use them all in one project. Why not? All right. And when I do my blending with clouds, I like to sometimes keep colors softer. This is not an example of that. Just because you're going for that like nice soft cloud effect, I did not want that for this one. So we're going to finish this off with some purple, which is a wilted violet. And as you guys can see, your rainbow should have 7 colors. Mine has 6, but I am skipping the red and subbing the pink, and I'm not really doing an indigo. We're going right from blue to violet. I'm just going to kind of blend this edge. All right. Perfect. I think that's about where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and put away my ink. So I've got this, and it's going to be this really pretty sky backdrop. I was thinking if I should matte this or not. And I was thinking of matting it with like a blue, or just not matting it at all. And I think I might be leaning towards not matting it. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Should I put a colored piece of paper behind my clouds, or should I just kind of leave it on here as is? I've also got a black piece of paper that I could use as well. I don't know if black would kind of contrast too much with it though. It would look okay. I'm okay with either. So what are your thoughts? Should I use a piece of paper behind it to matte it, or do you think it would look fine just the way it is? Let me know. If you guys have any sort of color suggestions instead of that, I can see if I can work with it. We'll give it about 30 seconds or so. Show with the blue and the black. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I don't know if that helps or not. So we've got black, or we've got blue. We've got black, blue. A very thin black matte. Well, we got maybe blue. We could do maybe a really thin, we could work with that. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do black. And I know that this is a 3x4, so we're gonna cut this really quick. Let me grab my paper trimmer. Actually, I've got another piece I'm gonna use because it'll work better. Oh, no, we're gonna use that for something else. So, if this is a 3x4, we're gonna make this like a 3 1/8 by a 4 1/8. Well, I hope I cut it the right size. Nope, I didn't. Alrighty, so, grab another piece of black paper. Let me do measurements again. I thought I knew what I was doing. So, all right, so this is 3 by 4 1/4. That's why I screwed it up. All right, so this is gonna be 4 1/4. Please make sure this is gonna work first. All right, we should be good. By 4 3/8 by 3 1/8. Yep, we got our thimble. Okay, perfect. All right, so, oh, I forgot to grab the right glue, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just put some liquid adhesive behind this. Math can be hard. Ugh. And welcome back. I was trying to do math on the fly. I was right in my measurements that I did. I just didn't remember the right measurements to begin with. But see, nice thin black border. All right. We're gonna put him up there. Let's work on the sentiment, because that's really the last part of this, and it's really fun in my opinion. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is I have die cut a little partial circle, And I am going to use the sentiment from the Never Hide Your Pride set that says, when you reduce life to black and white, you never see rainbows, because we've got rainbow clouds and we're going to do the sentiment in black and white. So I just thought it would be a really pretty sentiment to use. I really love this sentiment set. The fonts in this are just beautiful. We're going to try to do the embossing of this right now. I do have another one in case I don't get it embossed correctly, because sometimes white embossing powder on black paper can be fickle, but I did do it in advance just in case. So, oh, that's the wrong Misty. I can use a smaller one. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna put this in the corner down here, anchor it down with a magnet. Let me set this all to the side. All right, and now we're gonna take our sentiment. This whole pack is just, there's so many good sentiments. And I kind of struggled because there's so many good ones, but this one kind of fit the card perfectly. All right. So we're gonna pick up the sentiment with my Misty. It's all put into place. I am going to use an anti-static tool, and I'm just gonna cover this, and it's gonna look real messy, but I promise I have a reason. My stamp station is gonna look all dusty, but this is for me to get the best result possible. So what I'm going to do next is I've got my StampAnniething Watermark Embossing Pad, and we're gonna go ahead and stamp it. Put my pad to the side. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carefully watch as I'm pressing down, and I'm gonna watch the stamp to see where the contact is being made, because you want it to get a nice contact without pressing too hard, because you don't want the letters to smudge. And actually, this one looks pretty good, so I think we can move on to the embossing step. So, okay. All right, so I'm gonna swap this, and I'm gonna grab a piece of scrap paper. All right, I should probably grab some tweezers too. Are they easy to grab right now? Not really. All right, we're just gonna do it as is. So I've also got my porcelain embossing powder. What are on sale? The new Mister. I got. Oh, well, shoot, that's a good price. Oop, don't want to drop that. So we're gonna go ahead and cover this with the porcelain embossing powder, and then tap off the excess. And then sometimes I'll even go and do it again, just in case I thought I missed anything. All right, so now I'm going to set this to the side, and then I'm gonna clean this up really quick just so I don't get my powder everywhere. Perfect. We need a new Misty. Put it on my list of, oh, I would like the new one. Okay, so I'm gonna take my heat gun and turn it on. So if you guys can't hear me, I apologize, but I do want to heat emboss this. I wish I had my tweezers right now. In the jumper. I'm just warming up my heat gun. Ah, there they are. And we're just gonna go ahead and heat emboss this. All right, I'm gonna let this cool a little bit, and I am already seeing that I'm gonna have to make a couple touch-ups, but that's okay. All right, so now what we're gonna go ahead and do is, let me see, where'd my white circle go? I did have a white die cut circle, and now it went MIA on me. Oh no! There it is. So what I would like to do is I'm going to create a little bit of a frame for this. Using a circle die cut, also from the Basics pack of the Shaker Basics. All right, we're just gonna trim. All right, just to give it a nice little bit of an outline. And I am going to take my white gel pen and just to clean this up just a little bit. Sorry if I'm getting quiet, you guys. I just want to make sure that this is all touched up appropriately. And sometimes with white embossing powder, you just got to clean it up a little bit. All right. All righty. Let this dry a little bit. See, I had such a better go of this before. I'm thinking I might just swap it. We'll see. Maybe I'll do that off camera. All right. So now we can start putting this together. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take this panel and put it in the center. White is a tricky color. I had such a good go of it the first time where I'm like, maybe I should just use that one because I did want to do a second one. I think it would just look better. And sometimes white's hard to do live too. Put the lid on this. All right, and then make sure it's moved into place. I think we're good. All right, and then I'm gonna really quickly, while I've got you guys here, I'm just gonna do a quick die cutting to correct my sentiment. Grab my StampAnniething tape. Sometimes with white, I do have to do it a couple times to get it the way that I want. All right. And thank you so much, Nikki. Alrighty. Yep, this is better. Just gotta die cut this portion off and gently remove it with my tape. Oh, ding dong, just knew this is looking so amazing. Thank you. I know, I'm getting quiet just because I'm trying to make sure this is all gonna turn out the way that I want it to. Sometimes that's not as exciting for you guys. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, let's see. Yep, that's gonna work perfect. I'm just correcting one of my mistakes, which happens from time to time, but this sentiment turned out much more pretty. So we're just gonna trim. Oh, it is an electric die cutting machine. Yes, I do have the Gemini Junior, which I do enjoy using. All right. There we go. And I'm going to use foam tape for the sentiment and for Tony, and then we're going to add some embellishments. So let's go ahead. I'm going to add a couple pieces underneath here just to make this little section pop. Literally, that's what the foam tape does. It makes it pop. I am a high-tech crafter. All right. Let's see. And then we gotta put Tony up with his foam tape. Wait, what? I thought he sold it. Who sold what? I don't saw anything. Ooh, the regular Gemini. It really helps that you don't have to do the cranking. I am thinking about getting a smaller die cutting machine just so I can, not an electric one, but one that I could use during my lives, just so it's, if I have to grab it, it's not noisy and it's little, or easy for traveling if I need to. Hardly ever, it goes faster for me to use the Big Shot, LOL. See, I'm in the market for like a hand crank one too, so I'm always like listening to what people have to say. Oh, see, I miss things. I like it. I enjoy using it. All right, and one more piece. All right. He just had to replace his Big Shot because you broke it. Oh no. All right, let's put Tony on his branch. Perfect. And of course, we got to finish him off with some embellishments. So I've got some enamel dots that were from the Back to the 80s box, which work perfectly because they're rainbow. Mine broke this year too. Oh my. Y'all giving your machines issues. So I'm just going to add some dots. Misa loves. Misa thought you would. Alrighty. And the yellow one. Wrong side. And I think we're good. Yay, enamel dots. I love the enamel dots. Seems having to make more money on the side to pay for the double coat of grills and too. Oh, yes. Oh, that is a problem. I would have an issue if that was the case, for me at least. So I've got Tony is all finished up on the cards. He's such a cute stand. I love how you colored him. Thank you so much, Carrie. I thought he turned out really well tonight. I apologize, everyone, regarding the snafu that we had with the heat embossing. Sometimes it happens and it's hard to do live. I don't know why it turned out so much better when I did it off camera as a practice, but I guess I'm glad that I did. Thank you so much, Sam. Alrighty. So I've got him on his card base. Dude, I cut hundreds and hundreds of die pieces for the expo kits. The rectangular shape basic has gone through my machine, no joke, over 1,200 times and it still cuts like butter. Hey, that's pretty good. I love the rectangle piece from the Shaker Basic set. It is wonderful. So I've got, right now, I've got Tony all finished and on his card. So just as a little bit of a recap as to what I used, I did use the Tony Let's Hang Out Soon, or it's just, I think it's Let's Hang Out stamp, and we got him all colored up. I know later on I'll go ahead and add his hair color into the comments, but I used an E49, E47, E44, E43, E41 blend on that. But I'll enter that in later. We also used the Never Hide Your Pride sentiment set to go ahead and give him his little sentiment for the when you reduce life to black and white, you never see rainbows, which then tie in his rainbow cloud background used with the Cloud Builder Stencil. So it really all, I'm a little off camera, I apologize. It all ties itself into each other really quick. Also, the paper that I used with the green and white polka dots, that is the Summer Tropics paper set that was just released, I want to say last week. It's super fun, a lot of fun prints. Even if you're not doing a summery card, this isn't immediately summery, but it worked and I really enjoyed using it. Let me see, catch up with comments. Sam, I know Sam, thank you. And then Dana, I think we're good too. This card is everything. Thank you, Kevin. And then I know I already talked about the rectangle piece that still cuts like butter. Thank you so much, Kelly. And then Snafu's are part of the brand. You know what? I'll embrace it. And the one thing I love about doing lives with you guys is I love showing when I make the mistakes, because I don't ever want you guys thinking that when I make something, it's like, oh, he never has any mistakes. They happen. And I'm glad that you guys are here with me. Don't get me wrong, I sometimes get frustrated, but at least I can show you ways to correct them or little hints and tricks. All right, Betty, card is fabulous. Thank you so much, Betty. And then thank you, Anne. Snafu's are part of the brand. I think you said it before. Maybe I missed that. I'm sure he did, though. And then thank you so much, Lisa. And then Gabriella, so bright and happy. Great job coloring. Thanks so much, you guys. I appreciate all the comments. So I'm done with Tony. If you guys have any questions for me before I end my live, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to log off shortly, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday night. And of course, I'll be back next month with another Facebook Live. I believe it's typically the Tuesday after release week is usually when I'm on the schedule for. And I know Anne just put up a really fun little tip as to how you'd be able to integrate the StampAnniething calendar into your digital calendar if you want to stay up to date with all of the lives and events that we have going on in the fan club and anywhere. So thank you so much, you guys, for stopping by. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds and then I'm going to go ahead and log off. But I hope you guys had a fun time crafting with me tonight or just watching. Thanks so much. Have a great evening and I will see you guys soon.